Hi, I'm Molly and I am on vacation. I'm a registered dietitian and gut health expert, and I'm here at this Airbnb. Now, all the time my clients are asking me, what do I do when I travel? How am I able to kind of organize myself so that my IBS doesn't prevent me from having fun while I'm traveling? And that's a great question. And I have Crohn's disease, so I've been dealing with this for a long time. I have quite a little routine for travel, because we want to consider here. Number one, we want to be going to the bathroom every day, having a bowel movement. And if that's not you, then I mean, certainly vacation wouldn't be the time to start, but that's the goal, is to have one or more bowel movements per day so that you're adequately detoxifying. Now, we can talk about that in another video, but I do want to say that everything that I do while I'm on vacation is really toward the goal of having the bowel movement, because even me, a gut health dietitian, can let this get away from me and then I'm miserable, right? Number one thing that you want to do if you're driving a long way or if you're flying is to really have a plan with electrolytes. So whether it's, I like plain ones that aren't really flavored that you can just add to any beverage, because I don't like a ton of stevia or a ton of sugar, and it's hard to, or a ton of sodium. Be careful with sodium because your kidneys can only handle so much. And a lot of these, like LMNT and that kind of thing, LMNT I think has 2,000 milligrams of sodium per packet, which is technically the FDA's upper limit of sodium. So we don't really want that, okay? Looking for something like Buoy with the drops, or Elite by Body Bio. Those are plain, they're very good. I didn't bring any electrolytes with me because I'm really not that far from my house. We're having a girls' weekend. Next up is going to be smoothie stuff, because again, I want to have the bowel movement. I want to make sure that I have a breakfast option, even if I'm busy and on the go. I'm probably not going to be making like an omelet here. So I don't want to leave the house and go shopping or go to the first event of the day, like, let's say it's to museum or whatever, and be starving. I also don't want my blood sugar to crash out. So there are a couple things here that we'll start with. Every time I get frozen fruit for a smoothie, because I like the smoothie cold. So if the fruit's going bad, I'll cut it up, I'll freeze it. But in this case, I just bought this bag and I'll bring the rest home with me. I like to get a blend, not only because it makes the smoothie delicious, but also because it gives us the ability to get multiple phytonutrients into our body. Phytonutrients are the nutrients in each color of the rainbow. And with mangoes and blueberries and strawberries, I'm getting probably 4 or 5 of them. I've got some baby kale in the fridge. That's 6, maybe 7. And now we're really talking, right? And what are all these things also made of? Fiber, water. What are they going to do? Support a bowel movement. So we like that. What else is going in my smoothie? Well, protein. My favorite protein powder is Drink Wholesome. This is an egg white protein that's plain unflavored, but the flavors that they make are with monk fruit. So there isn't any stevia, which I really appreciate. And that is going to go perfectly in my smoothie. It's going to give me 25 grams of protein, and I'm not going to have to think about it. So I love that. Now, what else am I putting in my smoothie? Hemp hearts, and you should see me going through TSA, you guys. It looks like I'm like a medicine woman. I guess I don't think I'm relaxed enough to be a medicine woman. But if I was, I'd have this many bags. This is hemp hearts. Obviously, I have a bigger bag at home. I didn't want to buy a whole huge bag for 3 days. They have, per 3 tablespoons, 10 grams of protein. So now I'm up to 35 grams of protein and healthy fats and fiber. This is super soft, like squishy. I'm gonna show it to you. Super like tolerated, well tolerated. Super soft and squishy, like nothing. And they're really well tolerated by people with IBS. So I love this as also something that you can do in overnight oats or whatever. It's like a really nice yogurt way to boost your fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Chia seeds are awesome because you can not only put them in a smoothie, but if you're not like crazy like I am, you can also just soak them in water or juice, like a tablespoon, and drink it if you're constipated, and it will really provide a nice, gentle, laxative effect because these seeds get really big and hydrated in water. So we love that. Next up is going to be blueberries to have. Maybe I'll put some in the smoothie, but I also want to just keep them on the counter. At home, I do this too. I have fruit on the counter all the time because at this point in my life, walking by the counter I'm probably gonna grab something to eat, especially if I'm having a busy day or whatever. And I don't want to grab like a muffin or a cake. It's just not within my goals. So having fruit there, I'm going to grab that fruit and eat it, and it'll make me a little less kind of irrational when I get to the pantry. So this is a good one for the Airbnb as well, because it's giving me fiber, water, phytonutrients, and of course a little snack, creamer. I don't do dairy because of Crohn's disease, because dairy causes excess mucus production, especially in me. And so I was always like clearing my throat and snotting, and it wasn't cute. And also I have a history of acne. And so when I stopped the dairy, not that there's some evidence, but diet and skin health isn't super researched. So I don't come for me, but it did help me when I stopped it. So this is oat creamer. I know there's a lot going on out there about oat milk and oat creamer. This has like 13 grams of carbohydrates per cup, and it has like 5 grams of added sugar? 4 grams of, no added sugar. Oh yeah, 4 grams of added sugar per cup. So that's fine for me. I think it really tastes like actual creamer in coffee. I don't like the flavored ones, so I get the plain. So that's for my coffee. So that's the smoothie. I'm gonna add this to water, and then I'll be able to, have like a little fiesta where I don't have to get a whole huge thing of almond milk or flax milk or whatever I'm putting in my smoothie. I can just double use this, and then I'll use up the container faster, and I won't have as much waste, especially for a short trip. Oh, speaking of coffee, Super Cube, I am obsessed with. They do sell this in a travel size, but why would you get a travel size? This is one of my favorite supplements, and it is basically, so an acupuncturist named Lara Dilks invented this, and it's like a blender Vitamix full of functional mushrooms like lion's mane and like cardamom powder, collagen, MCT oil. This helps with hormone health in terms of when we drink coffee, especially if we're not hydrated or we haven't eaten breakfast, which you can pry coffee on an empty stomach out of my cold dead hands, honestly. It's going to prevent that crash, and it's also going to just kind of help the MCT oil is going to help my cortisol from spiking, and the functional mushrooms also are going to help with that balance of cortisol and then all those other hormones like insulin. And additionally, it's really good for your brain. Mushrooms are really good for your brain. So this in every cup of coffee that I drink, so I can't go anywhere without it. I'll put the info for the protein powder and that in the show notes. This is collagen, and collagen also goes in every cup of coffee I drink because yes, it's peptides. It's not a complete protein. So you would want, if you were doing like a workout or something, you would want to do an amino blend or a protein powder. You wouldn't want to rely on collagen as a protein supplement. But if you're trying, it's peptides, so it's already digested. So let's say you are having a hard time getting enough protein because your stomach hurts, bam, put this in coffee or tea. It works really well. It is bovine based, so they have beef or marine, and it's not suitable for vegetarians or vegans. But if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, this is where it's at in the coffee, especially when I'm traveling, because again, it's giving me some protein, and it's helping to prevent the crash that inevitably happens when, we're traveling. Coconut water is an awesome, awesome way to bring natural electrolytes in to hydrate your body. Yeah, it's Fendi. This is a liter, and it was $4.50. But I mean, if you got a 2 liter of soda, I'm pretty sure it's $4.50 at this point. So thinking about okay, well, am I going to bring in all these natural, wonderful electrolytes and some water hydration to help with stool and regular bowel movements, and also not feeling so tired and dried out and crappy, or not. Snacks for the Airbnb. I already did the blueberries, right? Okay. I like Mary's Super Seed crackers. These are gluten-free and they taste good, which is not common for those two things to be hand in hand. Yeah, sure. This is a processed food. In fact, it's an ultra-processed food, but brown rice, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, and then seaweed, salt and pepper, and spices. So no preservatives and no binders and no anti-caking agents in here. and no tapioca starch, which is also unique for a product that is gluten-free. We're looking at processed foods that are gluten-free. They're adding so much stuff in there because they want it to taste like gluten, and it's never going to. But they try, and some of them do a really good job, but I just like fewer ingredients for me, the better. Last one is popcorn. It's pretty much the only snack that I eat. Again, popcorn, sunflower oil, salt. Sunflower oil, it's not what I use when I make it at home, and I usually pop it at home, but I'm not at home. Going back to what I was saying about your safe foods. You have IBS, you have digestive issues. You may really need to bring more kind of meal type stuff like canned soup or boxed soup or, like bone broth. The kinds of things that are very easy to digest, very gentle on your system. You can have them for breakfast. You can have them for, downtime, or if you're doing a lot of small meals. I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to be sitting here miserable and then get to a restaurant and only be able to eat 10 bites because then you feel so full, or because the food had too much fat in it, or whatever it is, and then not be able to come home and still have something comforting and soothing. Because the way that we enjoy being out of the home is by getting enough calories, enough protein, and all of that, so that you have that energy and you're not just wasting away. I don't want that for you. So again, collagen would be a really good option for you, but you've got to have some other stuff going on there. The last thing that I brought to this Airbnb is potatoes. I love potatoes so much. They're my favorite food, and it's important for me to eat breakfast. So my friends and I are going to make potato hash in the morning with bell peppers and some baby kale and some onions, and then we'll have a smoothie with it. And that way we didn't have to worry if there was an egg type pan here, or because we're not here for very long. But that's a good example of I'm getting a bunch of fiber, I'm still getting my potatoes, and I'm having that egg white protein, so there's plenty of protein too. All in all, the rules of the Airbnb or of any vacation are: prioritize protein, make sure you're prepared for your dietary restrictions. So if you don't eat dairy, have something that's non-dairy, that kind of thing. Hydration in whatever way you can, and really try to get some electrolytes, especially on travel days. Not every meal has to be your last meal. So when you do go out to eat and you're traveling, you don't have to get the mac and cheese and the cheesy mashed potatoes and the fried pickles, and you know what I mean? Pick one thing per meal that kind of may give you a stomach ache, or don't pick anything that may give you a stomach ache, because you're going out to eat probably 2 meals. If you're doing multiple things per meal, then you really start to feel poorly. And I want you to enjoy your vacation. If you do have digestive issues, enzymes, let's talk about that in another video, but digestive enzymes are really helpful. I know there's a wide variety. If you're in a pinch and you want to just run out and grab something, I would recommend chewable papaya enzymes, because I don't need to give you any disclaimers for that or more information, but they do help to soothe, and they help you if you chew them before meals or after meals to kind of relax things. Make sure you have enough food, meaning you have something for breakfast if you know you're going to head out to a big day and there's no plan to stop for breakfast before the big day. Or make sure you have enough food that you can eat available to you in between going out, especially if you have a hard time dining out. And have fun, because part of gut health, yes, is diet and feeding those good gut bacteria and making sure that we are getting enough protein and we're getting enough calories and carbs and hydration and all of that. But part of gut health is also the connection socially, having fun, relaxing, laughing, moving around, walking around, exploring, being curious, making time for ourselves to go somewhere and have fun. So don't think that just because you're trying to work on your gut health or just because you have IBS that you can't do fun things, because that is not true. All this stuff's going to be in the show notes, and I'll put a smoothie recipe in the recipe drive. Now that recipe drive is updated every week, so when you click on it once, then you get access to that Google Drive, and it's just automatically updated for you, so you can periodically check it. So that'll be in the show notes. I have discount codes in the show notes, and I'll see you next week. Bye.